Reversing a long-standing ban on most offshore drilling, President Barack Obama announced plans to open large areas of the Atlantic and Gulf coasts, even part of Alaska, to cautious oil and gas exploration.
Reversing a long-standing ban on most offshore drilling, President Barack Obama has decided to let Uncle Sam sell oil and gas rights off Virginia and consider it for areas from Florida to Alaska. Announcing the plan, he said America simply must end its oil import addiction and produce more domestic energy.
In order to sustain economic growth and produce jobs and keep our businesses competitive, we are going to need to harness traditional sources of fuel even as we ramp up production of new sources of renewable, homegrown energy.
Yet Obama's also rejecting calls to sweep aside environmental concerns and drill, baby, drill.
I would say that this comprehensive approach is a lot less drill, baby, drill and more drill where it's responsible.
In fact, he's canceling plans to drill in Alaska's environmentally sensitive Bristol Bay. But he is opening up a large chunk of the East Coast, a new part of the Gulf of Mexico, and even parts of the Alaskan Arctic. And that has environmentalists up in arms.
I think it's a real letdown, and I think it's a betrayal of people that voted against drill, baby, drill and for President Obama's vision of a clean energy future.
But while Obama's plan has angered some coastal states, in Virginia, where the first leases will be sold, there's support.
I guess as long as the water and the wildlife are not affected, then I'm fine with it.
You have a whole new ecosystem that started there on the side of the rig, and it attracts the fish and it attracts the fishermen, so it's kind of good for the ecosystem, in my opinion.
Meantime, GOP foes complain Obama's plan closes more areas to drilling than it opens. The president portrays this as a middle-of-the-road approach for a nation whose energy appetite will only grow as it emerges from recession. He's also angling for a few Republican votes for his fight against global warming. But in reaching for the center, Obama risks the ire of green voters and coastal states whose votes helped set him here in the first place. Mark Smith, The Associated Press, the White House.
A small dose of chocolate a day could cut the risk of heart attack or stroke by nearly 40%. That's according to a new study published in the European Heart Journal on Wednesday.
Easter chocolate might end up being the gift that keeps on giving. Small doses of chocolate every day could decrease your risk of having a heart attack or stroke by nearly 40%. That's according to a new study published Wednesday in the European Heart Journal. It came from German researchers who followed nearly 20,000 people over 8 years, tracking their diet and exercise habits. They found a lower heart attack and stroke risk for people who had on average 6 grams of chocolate a day. That's about 1 square of a chocolate bar. The benefit may come from one particular chemical, according to June Davidson of the British Heart Foundation.
Dark chocolate has had a lot of publicity in the past about it being beneficial, and we think that that's due to the flavanols, which are actually in the cocoa, and there's some suggestion that that's actually the chemical that actually has got the heart protective effects.
Flavanols, also found in vegetables and red wine, help the muscles in blood vessels to widen, leading to a drop in blood pressure. Since the study just released only observed people and didn't give them chocolate directly to test what its effects were, experts say more research is needed to determine the candy's exact impact on the body. In the meantime, no one's recommending people go out and eat large amounts of chocolate, as that could lead to obesity, which carries major heart attack and stroke risks of its own. Study lead author Brian Boysch.
So we do not want to get people gain weight, right? But if we would make a recommendation in the future, then it will be something that if you eat a low amount of chocolate, then it should replace something else, like other sugar sweets or snacks that also contain many calories.
So those who can handle treats in moderation could now be in a position to think up a replacement for the slogan, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." Karen Sloan, The Associated Press.